Hello and welcome to the Ride It Out podcast, the official podcast of Summernats, the world's wildest car festival. My name's Jay Benz and I'm joined by my mate, Owen Webb, aka Webby. Webby, what's going on?
Plenty going on. Another great week, mate, and I'm really looking forward to a bit of a sneak peek tonight. I caught up with Trepanier last week from the US, had a good chat with him, and got a bit of a sneak peek tonight. And you can see the full interview on Thursday night at 8:30 on this same Bat channel.
Yeah, awesome. Make sure you guys get busy in the comments early for your chance to win some Summernats season passes and a Street Machine merch pack, which will be given away right after Marv's always epic rant. Winners will be chosen from the live YouTube comments. Tonight's show is a ripper. We've got Tim, the creator of the official Burnout Masters game. We've also got top American car builder Troy Trepanier. That's going to be great. Then we have Commodore King, Damien Chubby Low, and finishing off the show is Car Content Masters 1320 video. We've got Kyle and Matt from there. So, Webby, that's going to be mad.
Yeah, a couple of overseas guests tonight. We're really stepping up, aren't we?
Absolutely right. We're going to throw to a quick skid break, and we'll be back soon.
Skid ad.
This skid ad is brought to you by Eggplants. Brought to you by Canna.
Do a burnout, you
to head through to the top 10.
I think 632 odd cubic inches of blind monster. Steve No Gas for BNR engines about to come our way. One of the guys that you would effectively expect to be in the Masters field tomorrow.
Well, for the second year running, he's qualified via UBC Victoria. This year happened up at Ballarat, and they had a big party up there for it. Former winner of the Ultimate Burnout Challenge, absolutely ripping it up. Owns a limo company. Bought this car from Milwaukee. The only real American-built car that we've got in the field.
Well, Crystal Limousines, the business down there in Victoria. He was the first guy to import Camaros into the country to use as hire cars.
Yep, first stretch Hummer.
Stretch Hummer.
Yeah.
He's got Mustangs. He's got all the cool rides that we Aussies here want to drive.
Now, before I spoke to him, he said he was worried he wasn't going to last the full minute, and the right rear is off it. It's come up a bit early. Hopefully the left one will just hang on past the 1 minute mark. He's there.
He's there. But did he get the tyres off earlier than that 60 seconds?
Just cost himself a couple of points for that one. But either way, huge skid from Killaby, and he's got points.
All right, welcome back after that mad skid break. We are here with Tim, the Burnout Masters game co-creator. You might not know his face, but you've certainly done skids in the cars he's co-created. Tim's a big part of the Burnout Masters game. Tim, what's happening, mate?
Thanks, Josh, mate. Great to be here. Very excited. Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for having me on the show.
No worries. Do you want to give us a bit of a background on Burnout Masters and how that came about?
Yeah, can do, mate. So basically, it's a pretty cool story. Two mates really into cars. A guy by the name of John Wilson came up with the idea of creating a bit of a burnout simulation. We've been working on it for a little while. Obviously, two people takes a bit longer to get to market and actually build the product out. But really wanted to just create a fun way to actually build your car, take it onto the pad, and kind of do what you often can't do in real life. Just do it on your device. And yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, tell us, Tim, what makes the gameplay and stuff, obviously as fun as it is to play, what goes into that?
So there's a fair bit to it, mate. I think for Burnout Masters, what makes it really fun is being able to just jump in, customize your car and build it up from the ground up into, whatever kind of beast you want. A lot of the games out there, you can't really go deep in the car building side of it. So that's kind of where we started. We wanted to kind of bring that to life, make sure that our players could build their hero cars, build, their mum's car, whatever it might be. Or we get a lot of players sending us kind of photos of building their own dreams in their own cars. So that's where we focused. We really wanted to bring the customization to life and the personal elements of it. I think that's what kind of for us. And the other side that makes it really cool is just that integration with all the real world stuff. So bringing in the driver cars, bringing in Summernats, bringing in the different kind of levels and environments that you'll start to see get added into the game. Kind of makes it really cool.
Yeah, I know that you guys are also pretty vocal in getting back to giving feedback back to people and you get it from the messages you receive.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I mean, when we launched, it's kind of a crazy story. We went live at midnight. Why we picked midnight as a crazy time to launch a game. I was up to about 4 a.m. just like engaging with fans. There's a fantastic response. Heaps of people downloaded it straight away. It kind of shot up the App Store rankings, but just immediately this onslaught of comments and feedback, which is fantastic. So we've really rallied around that. We were active on all the social media channels. I think it took us about a week to respond to every single person we could after the launch, and we get a lot of kind of surprised faces when we actually, personally respond to people when they're shooting us suggestions and things like that.
Yeah.
Which is cool, mate. It's great. It's fantastic for the feedback.
Yeah, and I believe the game's like not only performing well in Australia, but overseas too. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, Australia is exciting. We, with our most recent update, we were in the top 5 for iOS and Android. So both Apple and Google, which is great. It's really, really good to be up there. And for example, in the top 100 for about 50 different countries. We're up there in the US, so it's fantastic just to see, the game and the whole Summernats experience being played all over the world.
Yeah, I know the latest updates added quite a lot of variety to the game and expanded it somewhat. How's that been received?
Big time, mate. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, dropping in Rick Fuller's, we've got LS1, we've got full on, we've got front back. So that was a big update just in kind of competitor cars to throw in the game. We added new levels. We'd been listening to players. They've been demanding tilt steering, so we added in the control elements. And it's kind of a recurring thing. Things that we add into the game, but we really listen to the players and the supporters and start to build in those pieces of feedback.
Cool. What's next for the game?
So I can't let too much out, mate. We would like to keep our cards pretty close, but I can say that we've had so much feedback around wanting to paint wheels. For example, like just about every message we get is let us just paint our wheels.
Yeah.
So we're going to add that. Customizing your ride height, your suspension independently is another piece of feedback that we've had a lot. So we're going to add that in. And then we'll add in new cars, we'll add in new levels, and really just kind of enrich the experience a bit more.
Yeah, mad. Yeah, awesome. So people can find the game obviously on the Google Store and on the Apple Store as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Download it with the latest update, and the new one should be in the future at some point, no doubt.
It won't be long. It won't be long at all.
No worries. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it, Tim.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, mate. No worries. We're going to cut to a skid break and we'll be back soon.
Skid ad.
This skid ad is brought to you by Altec. Burnouts.
The back of that car, totally destroyed. The young gun now. This is the youngest member to make the Liquimolly Burnout Masters. Jake Mines from Narandra. He's on his P-plates, just 17 years of age. Talk about a high-speed tip-in for a young man that has just got his licence. He drives like a professional, like he's been doing this for the past 10 years. Now, how did he get into the Burnout Masters? Quite easy. He earned his spot at the wildcard, the My Quit Buddy last qualifying chance on Thursday, and that's how we see him mixing it up with many of the seasoned performers. Arms out the window, he's loving the entire time, and of course certainly one of the biggest crowds that he has ever smashed tyres in front of. Look at the concentration from the youngster. He's just finished school, and I was looking to see, now he's just inherited, I was looking to see if he tagged that wall there, but he didn't. He's just finished school, as I mentioned, and he's looking to get himself an apprenticeship in graphic arts and vinyl, and it certainly shows with that great livery on board this 1966 Ford Mustang. Originally his dad's car. He's had this car, his father.
All right, welcome back after that mad skid break. Owen, you spent a bit of time last week with one of the greatest car builders of the modern era, right? Tell us what happened there.
Yeah, I did, Josh. And so last week I caught up with who I think is probably one of the best, if definitely in the top 3 car builders in the world, Troy Trepanier from Rad Rides in the US. He's been knocking out some of the best known builds in the world for the last 30 years. And I was fortunate enough to spend well over an hour with him and just discussing some of his past builds, some of his history, and definitely about a lot of the people he builds for. That's something that's really interesting. And, of course, what's on the horizon for Rad Rides coming up. So right now we're going to check out a 5-minute highlight of that interview. And it was a little bit about the 36 Ford Coupe, First Love, that he built, and it won the Riddler Award at Detroit Autorama in 2007. So have a listen, and I'm sure it'll whet your appetite for the full interview for this Thursday night at 8:30 right here. Okay, Jack, let's throw to that clip. Mate, you've obviously had a fantastic reputation as it was growing from the Sniper and all that, and through those years. You built some awesome cars, but I actually want to touch on in early 2007, you built the Riddler, the 35 Ford Coupe, First Love, and I just want you to give people a bit of an insight of what it takes to build a Riddler car. I know it's such an effort.
You know, that was a great thing. We unveiled the 32 Ford I built for Roger Ritzow, and it was the top 75 most influential 32 Fords of all time. It made that list, so it was a really nice car. And my dad had met Ross Myers at a Mustang event that summer, and talking to him, give him a little bit of time, and Ross appreciated it. So he's like, hey, I got a car I'd like to do, for the Riddler. And talking to my dad a little bit. So my dad came home and goes, hey, I met this guy, and he's talking about maybe building a Riddler car. It's a 36 Ford and Roadster. And I'm like, okay, does he know what it takes? So Ross ended up flying here then for the unveiling of Roger's car. That's when I first met him. And he really liked Roger's car, that style. So that was good. So I sat down and talked with him, and he kind of showed me the project. And he said, well, I bought this car when I was 9 for $25.
Wow.
I kept it in my father's barn for 40 years, and I'm at that moment right there. I knew I had the right customer. He had the passion, and Ross and Beth were unbelievable. So going in, I had the team assembled here, and you have the right customer. And my whole approach on that car, Owen, was to give people something to look at that they haven't seen before. Like, they're not comparing it the whole time they're looking at it. So there's only so much you can do to the outside of a car. So we did all the wedging, chopping, all that stuff, right? But the bottom is where we went crazy on the mechanical side of it. And there's nobody that laid under that and was looking under how we did all that and said, wow, referencing in their head, well, I've seen that before. So that was the approach we took. And I think that was the difference maker in that car. And I mean, it was an unbelievable effort. The last 6 months of that car, we worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. We had cots here, and there was about 20 of us working on it. I mean, it was a monumental effort, and it just came together at the end. And I still think to this day, and I think Chip would even agree, and the other guys, if they had a winner of all winners and you brought it back still and against everybody, not being naive, but it'd be really hard to beat the way the bottom was engineered and the way it was done, because it was so unique.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm glad you said that, because I was going to force that out if you're too humble to say that, because that car, like you say, the engineering was like, just go into a little bit about what the engineering was underneath that car.
So what I did is we did a twin I-beam front end, which it had 2 control arms, but it had a transverse leaf still, but it was up inside of it. So on the entire car, you didn't see any shocks or springs. The rear was cantilevered in behind the back seat, so you didn't see no shocks or springs anywhere on the car. So that was kind of a unique thing. And then the back was a quick change with inboard drum brakes, not disc brakes. So, it looked to be drums, you know what I'm saying? So that was kind of unique. Yep. And underneath, all the fasteners were blind fasteners. Most of them were hidden. It was all double skinned. It had a real gosh, what was, a FE motor in it, a legit aluminum FE motor in it, fuel injected, and and everything. And just the 36 Roadster in general is pretty rare and trick, but it was wedged, chopped, just cut every way you can cut it. And I'd really always like to do a street version of the car because I felt we got the shape of the body real nice. But really the bottom of it was the key. I mean, there were so many details that made your head spin. I think about it once in a while, and it was just unbelievable how it came together. And I wish we could build it today. But the guys I got today and the equipment we have and the know-how now, it'd be even a much better car. It'd be a lot more usable and things like that. But it's nice. Ross actually has an incredible showroom at his place in Pennsylvania. Collections like nothing you've ever seen. And the building's as trick as the car. It's an old furniture warehouse he restored. And he had it on the display in its own room, like we displayed it for a long time. And then now he's moved it to he always wanted people to see the bottom of it. So now he put a one inch thick glass floor in, and he put the car on the second floor. So when you walk in the building, you look up, you're looking at the bottom of it. It's really something. Great guy. We're actually going to build him another car. We can talk about that in a minute.
All right. That was really cool. Owen, how good?
Yeah, that car is really something else. Like that, you'll find out a lot about building that car and how they went about building that car. And if it turned up at the Riddler next year, it would probably still win. That was that far ahead of its time. And look, we're also going to see one of his real loves, which is the Salt. Troy absolutely loves the Salt, and hear a lot about some of the guys he builds for, like George Pete. So it's going to be, I'm really looking. I had just a fantastic time. He's a really good friend, and I just love spending time with him. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. Looking forward to the full broadcast of that. Is actually a full broadcast of the podcast of that what Owen did there with Troy Trepanier Thursday at 8:30 p.m. All right, we're going to cut to a skid break, and we'll be back with Damien Chubby Lowe.
Skid Ad.
This skid ad is brought to you by Anest Iwater. Anest Iwater.
3 cars and 2 drivers remain. Graham Rowe is one of them. And he's about to hit the pad in Gamble. His second time at Summernats. His first time in the top 10.
Well, the Queenslander normally does fly.
Overcooked it.
Overcooked it in a big way. Normally, of course, used to fly the flag with the maroon tyres. But this time has gone with the yellow and striking blue combos. But that was just shocking for the Queenslander. He knows that is the end. He still might place enough to get himself back into the Masters for 2020.
Yeah, that was a real shame.
It is a shame indeed.
Because stopping is 10, reversing is 10, so there's a chance they could ping him 20 points for that.
Absolutely.
He's gone back on with the job here. Smoke scores have been monstrous. Fair old haze going on right now.
You can see that smoke starting to thin just a little, which means that the tyres are in fact starting to go away. I think I just heard one off the back for Graham Rowe. This 372 cube small block Ford powered XE Falcon has done.
All right, welcome back. We're here with Commodore King, Damien Chubby Lowe. Tell me, Damien, what's the best thing about the trusty Holden Commodore?
5-word of power.
I was going to say nothing now, mate. They're gone. Hey, welcome, Chubb. Thanks for coming on. Mate, I'm not real sure about calling you Chubb anymore after losing all that weight. So, what do I refer to you as?
Chubby.
Okay, if you're still cool with that, that's really good. I want to know, what was your first Summernats memory, and which Summernats was it?
Summernats 88. What's happened that year is wet t-shirt comp. There was a big brawl in the building. They used to have it in the badging hall. Paddy wagons doing burnouts in the cruise route. It was all happening back then.
So, how old were you?
Probably 9.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You don't remember anything about the cars, but you remember the wet T-shirt contest. Good on you.
That's it.
Mate, I know your dad's really, your whole family is like into cars, and your dad used to take you to some events, didn't he? I'm aware of.
Yep, been to every Summernats. Even before that, 84 Street Machine Nationals in Canberra. Dad used to take us to Wagga Street Machine Nationals and a lot of other local, like New South Wales-based shows.
Yeah, and I'm guessing your brother Jason as well. He's really into cars.
Yeah, he was always there. He still gets around as well.
Yeah. So your dad still go to a few events with you guys?
He had a bit of a break for a while, but we got him down to Summernats again this year and out of ball. So hopefully, once all these restrictions lift, we can get him out again to a few more events. Yeah,
that's good. I know I've seen him around, and mate, he just really loves it. And yeah, he's given you guys a great grounding in cars, hasn't he?
Yeah, it was great. Good upbringing. Really enjoyed it. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, mate. As Josh alluded to there, you are known as the Commodore King, and your first VB there had the awesome engine bay. I mean, the whole car was good, but what gave you the inspiration to really get such an awesome engine bay?
It was just something I wanted to do. Paul Cundy built a VK and it had a really nice engine bay, an orange one.
Yep.
And that was very inspirational. And it just went from there. I just thought I wanted to build the best engine bay in a Commodore.
Yeah, and you did that. I think you won.
Oh, yeah.
You won that, didn't you? One of the Summernats.
Yeah, I won top engine bay at Summernats.
Yeah. I'm hoping Jack's showing a couple of photos there, because that really was an awesome engine bay. And I guess what I was thinking there is that you've probably done that because it shows off a lot of your engine parts and stuff for your business as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. That was really what got me into the business. What a custom-made stuff in my car, then people were asking for it, and it just went from there about 15 years ago.
Yeah. How's that business going?
Yeah, good, really good at the moment. A lot of DIY stuff is going out the door. Everyone's staying at home and buying stuff. Yeah, can't complain, that's for sure.
What sort of stuff? Sorry, Joe. What sort of stuff do you make there?
What's the stuff? We just released this year like an engine bay smoothing kit for people at home to weld up all the holes in their engine bay on a Commodore.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a dolly to go under the front of the cars when they strip them down and keep them mobile.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and then there's all the CNC billet range of strut tops, and
you've got heaps of the billet stuff, hey? Like you can pretty much fill your whole car up with billet stuff, pretty much, can't you? Really?
Yeah.
Strut tops and all the other stuff for You made the nice little cool air cleaner parts, and you're doing a great job there, mate. I think the Commodore community certainly latching onto it. I don't think I go to a car show and see a Commodore without something from Lowy Fab. That's for sure. You should be. Yeah, it's super.
Thanks, Josh.
Mate, I even heard you building an air cleaner with a few diamonds in it at the moment. Would that be correct?
Word gets around fast, doesn't it, Owen?
Well, for an unveiled car, so we can't say too much about that one, eh?
Owen pays all the right people to know all the good stuff. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It was really, I thought was really trick, and I reckon you did the ultimate road trip from Sydney to Perth in that Commodore we're talking about. So give us a bit of a rundown on that. That was awesome.
Well, it was something I always wanted to do. I'd never travelled that car to a car show ever, and I wanted to take it to Perth. So there was only one way, and that was to drive it. It was in the middle of summer. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, but we hit the road and we made it there and back. No dramas at all.
Did you have aircon?
No aircon, mate. 4 windows. 4x110.
What about the stereo working?
Yeah, the stereo was working.
That was just after Summernats, wasn't it? You left. So
we left
how long?
The week after Summernats.
And how long take you?
4 days.
Oh, because you would have went to Motivation.
Yeah, we went to Motivation, yeah.
Yeah, so did you actually get to do a bit of sightseeing on the way?
Not really, no. We stopped off at a couple of places, but there's not really much to see. Desert. Yeah, the Great Australian Bite with through St Juno and that. There was a couple of nice places and that, but
How was the car condition-wise once you got there and got it back? Do you have any little chips and stuff, or what does it do a trip like that?
The window got a stone chip. Paint and bodywork and all that was good on the trip over, but on the way back we hit a pothole and done a bit of damage to the car, and that's pretty much why it's off the road still.
Yeah.
to repair that damage, yeah.
Which leads it to no doubt it's coming back at some point.
Yeah, so give us a bit of a rundown. What's going on there?
I pretty much went a bit crazy with the build. We cut all the floor out. It's got 9-inch IRS in it, 6-speed, still 308, obviously. Twin turbos, rear mount, and just a nice set of 20-inch wheels all around.
Wow. I noticed that Summernats, I saw it in the trade hall into Summernats 32, I believe it was, and you had the intakes will go through the rear C-pillars or something. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's something else.
So now I need you to tell everybody so we can hold you to it. When is that reappearing?
Oh. Just to be safe, we'll say about 5 years.
No, I won't take that as an answer. Come on,
we
mate.
We need it quicker than that, mate.
Yeah.
Although, in saying that, I just see on Facebook that you've just bought an SLE. What's the plans for that?
Well, that comes back to Dad. Back in the day, he had a VB SLE.
Okay.
308 4-speed, and that's what that car is, 308 4-speed car. It was at the right price, and they're getting pretty hard to find, and it was a good body. So I thought, well, we'll get that, and if I can give that a quick rebuild and use a lot of parts I've got lying around left over from other builds and on a few favours, hopefully we'll get on the road and get Dad out in it and let Dad drive it to a few shows. And
yeah, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so he will be back. He will be back.
he has no choice. He will be.
You got to get in the car and say, right, Dad, you're coming.
Yeah, that's it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, mate. That's really good. So obviously people can catch up with you on Facebook or anything like that. What's your other socials there? Something.
Yeah, Low Fabrications, Facebook, Instagram, Chubby's Garage, Facebook and Instagram pages as well.
Awesome,
mate. Keep doing what you do, mate. I know everybody in the Commodore scene appreciates what you do and everything like that. So that's awesome, mate.
It's everybody in the whole scene, Josh. I tell you, Chubby's one of the most popular guys out there. So thanks for everything you've done as well, mate. Awesome.
Right, thanks, Alan. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, Josh.
Thanks for coming on.
We'll see you soon.
Right, see you.
Cheers, mate.
That was great, Alan. What a gentleman of the scene, right?
He is. Too good.
Absolutely. So because it's we've got another cool interview coming up now that we did sort of what happened with Troy. I had to film this crazy o'clock yesterday because it was even crazier o'clock in America when this podcast goes live now. So we did this yesterday, and I caught up with Kyle and Matt from 1320 Video to chat about cars, events, videos, and more. These guys have been to Summernats countless times and are huge fans of the event. So let's check out that interview right now. Roll it away, awesome. Jack. All right, we're here with Kyle from 1320 Video. What's happening, mate?
Not too much. We're just hanging out here in Nebraska where we live. And, it's actually pretty cold here right now. I got Matt with me here, too. He's one of our videographers. He's been over to Summernats.
Hey, Matt. How you going, mate?
Twice.
Good. How are you?
Good, man. How many times have you been to the Nats?
Twice.
Yeah, right. Bit of a it's a pretty crazy car festival, that's for sure.
There's nothing else like it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. Kyle, I wanted to say, where does your passion for cars come from, mate?
I just kind of fell into it when I was in high school. I just became obsessed with car audio, like sound competitions, make your car as loud as you can. Started taking pictures and videos of the shows that I went to and finding ways to share that stuff with the world. And I worked at a stereo shop, and then one of the guys there took me to a street race, and I started taking videos and photos of that stuff. And then that led into drag racing and started getting invited to all of the best events around. And I just moved from car audio to fast cars and just keep feeding that addiction. just trying to keep finding the weirdest, coolest cars to check out and share with the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think while YouTube's like big for you guys, obviously now, but it didn't start from there, right? It started with, I believe, with DVDs, etc.
Yep. Back 2003 is about when I started filming, and back
Wow.
then there was no YouTube, there was no file sharing hosting systems. You had to set up a web server yourself, and so I hosted my actual website on my own. My friend helped me set it up, and it was actually at the college dorms where I hosted the videos. And my first viral video shut down our network for like a day and a half. So my friend that had the computer shoved under the desk in the networking room told me I needed to find somewhere else to put my website. Then there was like Street Fire, where you could go find car videos, and then YouTube started kind of becoming a thing. And yeah, Street Fire was like a YouTube for car people back then, but it was all message boards and hosting your own files and stuff like that back then. It was very expensive to host videos.
Yeah, I bet. I know that was a time when car forums were massive as well, I guess, really big.
Oh, yes. Yep. There was, I mean, I don't know, 40 different message boards that I would go to post my photos and videos that people wanted to see.
Yeah.
It wasn't as easy as social media where you just post it one place and everyone shares it for you. You had to do the sharing yourself.
Yeah, a lot of hard work, no doubt, which I guess in a day and age, but is that part of the reason why you think that you've been really successful is the hard work you put in back then when it was super hard, that sort of?
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of got in early, before like sharing car videos of cars was a thing, and before car channels were a thing. It's kind of, I didn't know what I was doing necessarily, but I just liked sharing what I found with other people. And now people are doing it all over the world. You know, it's a very popular thing now.
What was the video that went viral you were talking about?
There was a guy here with a regular cab Chevy pickup that turbocharged it, and it wasn't very common to turbocharge a gas pickup back then, especially a two-door, and it was very stock looking, so it had the sleeper appeal. And he would go out street racing, and I'd ride shotgun with him and film the cars that had no idea what was going to happen. Like we'd pull up next to a Mustang, that loud exhaust and a cam, and he's like, "Oh, there's no way." He just laughed, like, "Why would I race you?" And then just four-wheel drive, just blow him away at the stoplight. And so there was one video that got, I think, 1.2 million downloads in like a week.
Wow.
And so that was definitely overloaded things.
Yeah. Sort of like a two-part question. When did you realize that doing automotive media could become a full-time gig, and what did you sort of do before that, and then the transition?
Well, the first DVD I sold didn't sell a ton. So it was just like a hobby. And then I sold a second one, and shortly after that, someone asked me, like, I made a couple shirts for me and a couple friends, and then someone asked to buy one, and I was kind of confused. Like, why would someone want to buy a shirt with my company on it? And then their friends would see it and they wanted one. And then all of a sudden I had like a merchandise store online. And then I started shipping them to like people in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Taiwan. I'm like, what is happening? And then that grew over 4 or 5 years or so. Social media became really popular, and Facebook kind of blew up our business. And that's when it really Facebook and YouTube together really blew things up. And that's when I realized that maybe I could do it full time. So I still worked a day job full time at PayPal for probably 5 or 6 years after that point, where I could realize it could be a full time job just because I liked that job. And I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do both of them.
Yeah, no doubt too difficult to run too like that. And no doubt by then your passion for wanting to make more and more and more in the free time you would have needed to do that. We
Exactly.
just wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Would you ever have imagined back then that 1320 video would be as big as it is today?
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. It's pretty wild. Sometimes it seems normal now, but sometimes I sit back and just like, one of the big moments where I was just like, this is so weird, was when I came to Australia for the first time. The first person I really talked to in Australia regularly, well, I think Paul Beck, who was part of some of the magazines, I talked to him quite a bit. And then Adrian Hodgson, I talked to him, and I was asking him, because he kept talking about Summernats and having us come over. And finally I was like, okay, I want to come. And it was like a couple months before Summernats, too late to set stuff up. So they told me I should go to an event in Sydney with Motive Video, Motive DVD. And so that was when I went the first time, and they set up a test and tune on Wednesday night at Sydney Dragway. And there was thousands of people that showed up, way more than they usually have on a Wednesday night. And everyone there knew my name. And it was so weird, like other side of the country for the first time. And everyone's walking up like they're my friend. And I got a lot of friends over there now that I met from that trip and several others after that.
What's that about? Did it sort of open your mind to Australian car culture, and what was the shock for you of that? Like is there a big difference between American and Australian car culture? I mean,
yes and no. We're both really passionate about cars in certain ways. It's just the cars that we build are a little different than the cars that you guys build. Obviously, we build a lot of cars that we go drive on the street. You guys can't do that, even though some people will still. And then most of the time, we don't build cars just to go annihilate the tires, other than drifting. Burnout cars haven't been a thing, but now they are becoming a thing, which is awesome. I love that the cross culture is happening, and Cletus has been a big part of that. And I love it because ever since we started going to Summernats, it's like we'd love to see it happen here, become bigger and bigger. And now it's fine. There's finally like that playground to do it, where the Cletus and Cars events, and hopefully more events are going to come out of that, where that's, we got skid pads just for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Going to Summernats was the Cootamundra event I went to with Motive Video, pretty similar. Like we have some no preps or runway events, but just a different caliber. We don't have the old Skyline GTRs. But when we went to Summernats, it was just a whole different world. We're like, there's a blown alcohol, crazy cam car driving by, like that you would only see pull off a trailer and go down the drag strip and back on the trailer type of thing. But they're cruising around, and it's
it's definitely a vibe you don't get over here. Like that's what I like. Pull up into the Canberra Fairgrounds, just like, well, they're just driving these around here. Like that's just something they start up, maybe like push with a golf cart to like a drag strip, fire up, do a pull, and then push it back. It was really surreal to like pull up there and see that type of thing, just cruising around, chirping the tires with a big nasty cam. It's just like I'm hooked. I have to come back to this.
You can't find the Summernats experience anywhere else in the world, even in Australia. Just the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's something else. It's pretty much like once you're inside Canberra Exhibition Park, it's kind of like its own little world. It's kind of like you're in a little city for 4 or 5 days. That's just wild. Methanol cars.
Like a dream that just 4 days later it's done, and you're like, you walk around the park the next day and it's like it never happened. It's weird, except for some of the trash and the odor.
That rubber marks on the ground afterwards.
All that gets cleaned up pretty quick, I think. And then I think after you leave the event, you're so pumped and amped from it that you get home on the Monday or the Tuesday and you sort of have the blues for a few days, because it's just you're so full of adrenaline for 4 days of non-stop, 16, 17-hour days as a car fan, just going nuts. I guess just to touch on that, the thing I personally like about 1320 video is the sort of the evolution of it. I mean, even Cletus to come from that and all that sort of stuff. Like, how does that feel for you to sort of, I guess bring a lot of these things to life, in that sense?
Yeah, we've kind of created the world that we play in, whether it's knowingly or not knowingly, just kind of by attracting the kind of people we hang out with or going to film certain events that we've partnered with. It's created this like synergy around the United States and around the world for streetcar style events. Like Streetcar Takeover here spun off from what we do with our tight-knit group of friends here in the Midwest. A couple of them created that event. We partnered with them to make that big. TX2K had already been a thing at the time, but that has just continued to blow up. Street Outlaws, we filmed forever, and then they had the TV show. The no prep racing stuff, we went and filmed like the original no prep their second year at up in like the Illinois, Chicago, Indiana area. And now no prep racing is like this huge thing all over the world. I mean, there's no prep racing happening everywhere. So it's really cool that it's like there's still as been no better time to own a street car. It's just like the coolest thing in our world, at least. Like, it's just been awesome. It was like there's plenty of dragsters and stuff like that back when I first started filming, but not that many people like to drive on the street. Like a 10-second, 9-second car on the street was wild. Now we've got guys driving 7 and 8-second cars. I mean, there's 6-second pro mods on drag week, and one of them is a couple of them have run 5s, one at drag week, but they literally drive them for 1,000 miles. Like, who would have known that was going to happen?
Who would have thought that'd be a thing ever?
Yeah.
It's just what a time we're alive in.
Yeah, I remember seeing an image of a car in drag week. It looks really funny. A car that insane, carrying a trailer behind it, and just doing its thing.
Yep.
Definitely one of the favorite events that we cover.
Oh, yes.
Drag week. That's another event that there's nothing like. That's another one. It's like Summernats. When it's over, you get back on like the Monday and you're like, man, I'm just seeing cars pulling trailers around. Like, can we do like drag month? Can that be a thing?
Yeah. Even on the drive home from drag week or Rocky Mountain Race Week, we'll be driving the highway and there'll be a U-Haul trailer in front of us. We're like, oh, there's a dang it. That's how we've gotten to know a lot of our Australian friends even before I came over was drag week, because like they just start frothing when they see it. There is the street machine race now that happens, but
absolutely, drag challenge,
Yep. In 2005, when I went to the first drag week, instantly there were Australian fans messaging me like, how do you guys do that? This doesn't make sense. And especially as it evolved into pro mods, Australians are like, what?
Yeah, I've been to a few drag challenge events, and the camaraderie between all the people there and the vibe is just so good. The street machine drag challenge, and I can only imagine drag week in the US is amped even further.
It's a tight knit family of people that have a weird obsession with painful torture of going on a road trip with no sleep and fixing their car all day for several days.
Launching yourself 160 miles an hour down a piece of tarmac.
With your eyes half closed because you didn't get any sleep the night before.
Yeah, sure.
Give us a glimpse into your world, Matt, about being part of the team and just constantly I guess capturing content.
I mean, it's a pretty cool deal. Like, I was in pharmacy before this, so I met Kyle, and before 1320 was a full-time endeavor, and I was like, if you ever need anything, let me know. Like, been a car guy for years before I met Kyle, so it worked out one time, and he's like, I'm going to Colorado to film some cars on the street. Do you want to go? Like, yeah, let me call into work right now. So I called into work, and that's different. So we don't have to worry about that. But so called into work and drove out to Colorado and got my first ride along in some like 1,000 horsepower GTRs. And after that, I was hooked. It's like, I want to do this as much as possible. So from just calling into work to doing this full time, it's been a dream. There's no other way to put it. It's just been a dream endeavor.
Kyle? How's the car scene changed? You think from when you started to what it is now, and the transition from social media, from I guess DVD to social media?
Yeah. It's interesting because there's always been different little events across the United States that happen with enthusiasts and racers from those areas, but social media's ability to spread that word so quickly, like instantly. 10 years ago, you'd have to find like a magazine with an event, like literally a Hot Rod Drag Week. I went because the guy with that pickup with the viral video said, hey, I saw on the back of Hot Rod Magazine, they have this event where it's 5 different tracks in 5 days, racing each one. I was like, I like going to an event, but I don't know about 5 days in a row. This sounds, I don't know if I'd like it. But we went anyway. But that's like, now you just go on Facebook, someone invites you, and instantly you know all about it. You've got pictures and videos, you know everything about it. So it just makes it so much easier for people to find exactly the event or group of people they want to hang out with. And it's just like magnified the participation, and just finding people that are as crazy as us that have the same passion to go do whatever they want, go find the right event that you want to go to.
I think another big thing that's changed the game is like live feeds. You can open up your phone, hit a button, go live, and anybody on your Facebook can be at the same event with you, watching it on their phone.
Yeah.
That's another big thing. I remember when that first came out, it's like, oh, we might be in trouble. But it's worked out. It's worked to our advantage, honestly. We do a lot of live stuff.
And back when I was doing videos, it was just, you know, I'd film something in the next few weeks or months, I would edit it and put it up. And it was pretty typical back then. But now, like, vlogging wasn't a thing until like 7, 8, 9 years after I started. Like, people were doing it already. I didn't show my face for probably 7 years. But like the way people see videos, like, I was one of the only people filming drag racing outside of like TV companies or a DVD production company to come in to film a big event. I was the only one, for the most part, out there just filming them for fun, and everyone was confused for the first few years. Like, you can't make money. You shoot photos to make money at drag races, and I didn't really find, like, I shot photos and put them online, but I didn't try and sell them. It was just not that exciting to me. The videos just really were fun. I didn't really do it for the money, but now it's just everyone's got a video camera in their pocket. So there's just so much media out there. It's crazy. And it's all real time, and it's all just, I don't know. It's hard to, it's sometimes it's overload, but whole different world now.
Yeah. Obviously, not only videoing cars as well and creating content, but you're also obviously a car guy. Do you want to tell us a bit about your car collection that you have currently?
Sure. I've got 2 race cars. I've got my C5 Unicorn, the twin turbo. It's twin turbo, stick shift, 427 Texas speed motor. And then I've got, and that's about 1,200 horsepower, still stick shift. Haven't driven a lot. I had a bunch of issues last year. I fixed everything, went out, snapped an axle, cracked the diff case, first pass. So I didn't make any videos of that. Just got it back a few months ago, and I've just been enjoying it at home before I break it again. So I've been driving my ZR1 a lot, which is a 2010 Corvette ZR1, and it comes with the 6.2 liter supercharged from the factory, but it's spun up with more boost and ethanol, and also stick shift car. It's about 800 horsepower. I raced that this weekend, and it's currently somewhere else broken with a broken axle. So seems to be I've been having a little issues every time I have fun with one of the cars. It's just, you know the way it goes. But we've got a big fleet of cars that we drive around. I've got my favorite daily. This is my second one, is a Lexus GS350. And we've got like a Yukon and 2 diesel pickup trucks to haul our stuff around.
Yep.
And Matt's got a, you tell him.
I've got a 10th anniversary RX-7. It's my little project car right now. Just been slowly buying parts for that thing because it always breaks, those rotary cars, man.
We see a lot of rotary guys in Australia.
Yeah.
Stop by.
A lot, yeah. Yeah, one of the Burnout Kings of Australia, Mad Mick Brasher, he's going to put a rotary engine in his KE20 Corolla. So he's always had a blown V8. So it's been a big thing, but I think that'll kick off some rotary stuff for sure, especially within the Summernats scene. That'll for sure.
Really, really cool to see that. There's not a lot of rotary cars that show up to that. I mean,
and this will be a pure burnout car, yeah. It's going to be insane.
High RPMs going and shoot some fire too. Very cool.
There was I think a yellow car that we saw a couple years ago that had I think it was a supercharged 13B. I sent you pictures of it.
Yeah.
Matt wasn't at that one, I don't think.
It was there in 20.
Oh yeah, it was there the year after.
It was there the last time I was there 2 years ago.
That was wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's been quite a few crazy blown. It's not what you expect a blown rotary like that, especially with everything hanging out the hood, and you're just like, what the hell's going on here? It's like, just makes
I was taken back when I saw it. I'm like, I've never seen one like that before in my life.
I found it the year before Matt went. I found it because I heard it from like 3 camp areas away. I was like, what the heck is that sound? Sounds like something's dying. like this intense sound, like crazy. It was just a wild idol.
You guys obviously get around not just to Australia, but around the world. Like I've been, you've gone to Sweden and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've got a question for you. If you're in Sweden at a car event there, how would you explain the Australian car scene to someone if they asked you?
You guys are very heavy into the V8s like we are, but you like your superchargers a lot more than we do, which is cool. I respect that. It's really cool to go somewhere and see different stuff. You guys are super passionate about it too, and I don't think anybody kills as many tires as you guys. Truthfully, anywhere else on the planet, you guys probably have the market cornered for tire sales. Sweden does really good with street stuff, the street aspect. They've got that down to a science. I'm pretty sure they might have invented street racing.
It's possible.
And we're just kind of like the melting pot, based on what I've seen. We've got a little bit of everything going on. We're slowly dipping into the burnouts, like you mentioned earlier, but drag racing, drifting, we've kind of just got a little bit of everything going on.
Mm-hmm. Australians are like Americans, but you like to show the goods off a little bit more out the hood for burnout cars, and you just don't care as much. Like just crazy people. Like anytime we're around Australians, we have fun.
That's a good time.
Question is, when will we see you back, you think?
Oh boy, that's a good question. We're coming back to Summernats again. I just don't know if it'll be this year or the next year, but we will be back for sure. We're supposed to. We were trying to come back sometime this spring, or your fall, but events are getting moved around and whatnot. So maybe be back before the next Summernats. We'll see. But that Australia is basically our number one place that we love to go outside of the U.S. People are awesome, and there's no shortage of cool content, weird stuff that we haven't seen before. And you guys always put on a show for us. It doesn't matter. I literally just we just finished up all the Power Cruise videos. Just put the last one up today, actually, and that was in Sydney, and that was just like so eye-opening. It was nuts. Just a big party, kind of like Summernats, but just a different twist on it.
Yeah, it kind of got that event just got through before all the shutdown stuff, really, I guess.
Literally. I think I was there when that cruise ship was in the port in Sydney, I think.
Mm-hmm. It would have been around then, yeah.
Then I went to Perth for the runway event out there, Race Wars, and that was really cool too. Finally got to go to Perth in WA. I've been to Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, and so it's cool to check out the other side of the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know Australians dig your content, so we're definitely looking forward to having you guys back here, obviously. And you know, absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. Really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
We just love coming and partying with people and having fun and sharing it with the world. It's we're able to do it and met lots of good people doing it, especially in Australia. We love going over there.
You guys keep doing what you're doing. We love the heck out of it.
I look forward to seeing you guys here hopefully soon, eh?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sweet. Thanks for coming on.
You bet.
All right, cool. We'll be back after this break. How awesome was that, Webby?
Yeah, they're good. Those guys love Australia, don't they?
Absolutely. For a guy who's had such an influence on the way car fans worldwide view automotive content, he's just such a humble guy.
Yeah, they are terrific guys.
Absolutely. And Matt too, if you want to catch up with any content from 1320 Video, make sure you get over to their YouTube channel and subscribe. Okay, it's time for our big competition. Last week's winner of the K&N cabin filter was Dean Allen from Bligh Park in New South Wales. So congratulations, Dean. This week we're giving away a Canna merch pack, which comes with a hat, stubby cooler, keyring torch, bottle opener, beanie, and a water bottle. Canna is a leading brand of nutrients and additives for hydroponic producers worldwide. Canna is a proven solution for growth and bloom. For more information, go to canna.com.au. Apparently, it's really great for growing veggies there, Webby. I'm sure you've got plenty of it.
Awesome, mate. Give me the product.
All right, next question. What's next week's question, Webby?
All right. Now, I mentioned earlier, so if you guys out there were listening, I want to know, what year did Troy Trepanier win the Riddler Award in Detroit? So it's already mentioned there, or if you've missed it, watch on Thursday night and you'll get that. And you'll get that great Canna prize. So all the answers to podcast@summernats.com.au.
Perfect. All right, we know his name. His name is Marv. He's the rant king. What's happening, bud?
I've been sitting at home trying to self-isolate, not from coronavirus, not from any other kind of virus, from people who drive around Sydney or attempt to drive around Sydney. You're on notice, people. You're testing the patience. I try to stay calm. I try to stay sane. What the hell are you doing? It's a speed limit. It's a target. You stay there. You don't get to 60, drop to 50, go up to 65, drop down to 42, pick your nose, go up to 80, drop down to 12 k's an hour, nearly hit the girl riding the bike on the footpath, then veer off onto the side, take out a styrofoam sign. Bloody hell, what the hell are you guys doing? You're not driving, and if you call that driving, bloody hell, that your instructor should have their bloody licence taken off them. Strike my... just... Sorry, guys.
It's all right, mate.
I'm trying really hard. Like, it's not... There's no track...
Canna. Give him some canna.
Mate, does Canna have a good recipe for a nice brownie to relax me? Like, far out.
I'm not sure they do that. I'm not sure they can help with the vegetation and the growth and stuff, but I'm not sure what you guys are growing, but, you know.
Oh, you know, I grew up near Gosford.
Okay.
It's the roads are nearly empty, so why are they filled with dingbats? Like, just... It should only be essential people on the roads, guys. And if you're essential, you should know how to drive. I mean, I think, like, if you can tie your shoelaces and walk down the footpath without tripping over yourself, if you can manage to program a TV without giving yourself some form of brain cancer, if you can make spaghetti bolognese at home and not burn the house down, you should be able to pilot a modern vehicle down the road without varying your speed 6,000 times, leaving the roadway, or having any other kind of calamity. It's not that hard. There's only 6 cars out there on the road at the moment.
You want to give away some stuff to feel better about yourself?
I probably need to. You know what? Like, yeah, they say giving is healthy, right? So let's share a couple of season passes to Summernats. Now, if your name happens to be, how do we even pronounce it? Sandy sent me some names here. Arion and Jaylee Renee. You two guys have scored yourselves 1 season pass each. And we also have a double season pass plus a sweet Street Machine merch pack, so you can get all kinds of good Street Machine clothing like this. So Sarah Southall, you have won yourself a double season pass to Summernats and a Street Machine merch pack. And I trust that since you are such a champion that you have won such goodies, you're not going to drive like a dingbat. Please help me out here. My blood pressure can't take it. The doctor's on the phone. Like, oh. What was that? What was the name of those guys who can help grow things to calm you down? Canna.
Well, yeah, right. I think they grow stuff that you can eat veggies and stay healthy. I think that's the way it runs there. Canna.com.au.
Rightio. Cool. Well, if it looks like a tomato plant, it's all good with me. I'm going to go off and try to look them up.
All right, perfect, mate. We'll catch up with you, eh?
Cheers.
Thanks, Marv. All right, what a legend. All right, what's happening, Webby?
I love that rave tonight. That was good. Awesome.
In and out. That was very good.
Yeah. Mate, so I've got some entrants to go through, okay. So as we do every week. So firstly up, Red Summernats, I've got number 88, Stephen Bishop, in an awesome black 8Z sedan. Really nice car. Motor X, I've got 16, David Notice. He's building obviously a brand new car, a Valiant Safari wagon, something a little bit different.
Wow,
He's got some great picks in the build, so really looking forward to seeing that finished. And he's got plenty of time to finish it now because that's been extended.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not cancelled, extended.
No, extended, exactly.
Absolutely.
Summernats got number 64, Kyle Douglas. Got this crazy metallic, huge grey Hilux. So, yeah, that's a pretty cool looking thing. And for Rocky Nats, got number 78, Michael Staggs. He's got a violet Mustang, not a real common Mustang 66 or 67s are very common. This is a beautiful example of a 1970 coupe. So everybody out there, get your entries in and make sure you get your spot there in 4 of the biggest events here in Australia.
Absolutely. And we also want to, next week's podcast is going to be quite interesting, Webby, because we've got Supercars driver Dave Reynolds coming on the show. That's going to be, he's always a crack up every time I see him on the media. We've got the guru behind the Supercars E-Series, Nathan Prendergast. We've got the Ring brothers. I believe you've done something really special there, Webby. You want to give us a bit of insight?
Yeah, a little bit like the deal I did with Troy. And obviously, I feel very fortunate to know a lot of those top car builders. So they've been very generous with their time. So, yeah, looking forward for that one as well.
Absolutely. And we've got one of New Zealand's favourite burnout sons, Hayden Wilby, with Nut Out. He's going to come on and have a bit of a laugh with us, and he's a super character, that fella. I tell you, I spoke to him last week, and he's pumped to come on the show. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's good. He was a lot of fun when he was out here.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. We want to see lots of pics of what everybody's doing at home at the moment. So if we want you to send your pictures to podcast@summernats.com.au of you in the garage with your car, or going out. Maybe you've driving to the shops and you've taken your cool car this time because we're allowed out a little bit at the moment. So this week we've had a photo sent in from Norm McCormack, and he sent us a pic of his slick 1955 Chevy. How nice is that? So if you want us to feature your car on the, absolutely great car. If you'd like us to show your pics on the podcast, email podcast@summernats.com.au. All right, we want to thank Tim, the creator of the Burnout Masters game, for coming on. We want to thank Troy Trepanier. And don't forget that interview is coming up this Thursday night at 8:30, right, Webby?
Correct. Same back channel.
Absolutely. We want to thank Commodore King Damien Lowe. We want to also thank Kyle and Matt from 1320 Video. It's really great to have these such world-class car guys on this podcast. So we're really happy with that. Don't forget that Summernats 2021 tickets and entries are on sale now. I know I certainly can't wait for that to happen. And I'm amped to stand on Tough Street and breathe in the atmosphere definitely with a slushy in hand. What's your flavour go-to, Owen?
What was here? It's got to be bourbon, mate, of course. Bourbon and cola.
All right. Well, thanks for watching episode number 6. We want you guys to take it easy, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
And Thursday night, before that.
Don't forget this Thursday night to 8:30, we've got the special with Troy Trepanier with Owen there. That goes for about an hour, right, mate?
Yeah, all good.
And don't forget also to subscribe. If you're listening on a podcast, please subscribe to this, obviously, podcast, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel and give the video a like. We'd really appreciate that. And again, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Cheers.
All right, coming up on podcast 7, Supercars driver Dave Reynolds, the guru behind the Supercars E-Series Nathan Prendergast, the Ring brothers direct from America, and Hayden Wilby from New Zealand. This one's gonna be mad. See you next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m.